there's the sign says for sale. Set of Encyclopedia Britannica. No longer needed. Just got married. Wife knows everything.
Oh, that's so old.
I know, but people are having a fit over it. Like, would you even bother getting upset over that? I mean, it's such a lame joke.
It's old. I'm like, I'm more upset over the lack of imagination than I am out of an old sexist trope.
Okay, good.
I mean,
good. Me too. I just thought, this is stupid. And why waste your time? Get mad about something because I've got some stuff coming up later that you will make.
There's plenty of things that actually deserve your actual outrage and phone calls.
Okay. Mm-hmm. How about used boobs?
Used boobs? So like implants that have been removed?
Uh-huh. This lady's going up a cup size.
There's a secondary market for these things?
Well, they're on eBay. And she put them on and she said, look, they're only 11 months old. And I went up a cup size. They're barely used. And she's arguing as to whether or not these are actually considered medical waste. Thoughts?
I'm sure that they're perfectly fine to be used again and sterilized and brought in because obviously they have to be manufactured and then sterilized, So there's that process. But it still was in somebody else. I mean,
yeah.
No.
I mean, if I needed a kidney or something, I'm all about that. But, I think I'd want my own fresh pair. If I were going to have them installed, I think I'd want my brand new. And
it is a very invasive procedure. I mean, I know plenty of folks that have had it done and, whether or not they've done it for aesthetic reasons or reconstruction. Uh-huh. It is not a decision to be made lightly. I mean,
no.
There's a lot of things that can go wrong.
Yeah.
And more folks I know are just willing to be uneven or not have, or have one breast. They're just, once they've gone through all the other surgeries, they're like,
yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. No more of this.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, that's just weird. I mean, I think about it in terms of cars. It's like, show me the boob facts. Mm-hmm. How many miles do these things have on them? How often have they been squeezed? Like what? Yeah, no, I just don't think so.
11. She changed her. She went. I mean, there's like a 3 or 4 month recovery process, and then she went and did it again.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, I can understand if there isn't. I mean, I've an infection or something.
Did you ever watch that show Nip Tuck though?
No.
Okay, actually, that was a freaking good show. Mm-hmm. I have to admit, it was pretty good. Freaky on the fringes, but pretty interesting. Mm-hmm. But they did really dive into the concept. There are people that are genuinely addicted to plastic surgery, and this woman smacks of that. She could be at the very early stages of it, but I mean, this is a real thing. I mean, it's out there, so it doesn't surprise me. Now, this next one, other forms of cosmetic surgery. This one. I can't wait to see what you think. Okay, so 3,000 pounds is about probably $7,500, I'm guessing, translated. Woman in Britain went and had a labiaplasty after being, quote unquote, taunted by men for her oversized Big Mac burger genitals, which made her ashamed to have sex. Now, she had to do this out of her pocket because it's not funded by their insurance anymore. Mm-hmm. They've ruled that cosmetic. They have had the number of vaginal surgeries like this in the UK has increased by 5 times in the last 10 years. And, she said, she's talked to other women, like her labia escaped from her bikini on the beach, and all these women that have these stories and say, why they want to do this. I say, if you feel bad about that area, and let's just be honest, it can affect profoundly, your sex life, knock yourself out.
Well, here's the deal. If honestly her labia it cannot stay in her swimsuit, okay, then, you want to do, something, you would want to do something about it. And yes, surgeries are going to increase because it didn't exist 10 years ago.
Right.
So, you've got that always. But if someone is, I'm certainly hoping that someone doesn't show up with a picture from now you have nudes again, Playboy, with the airbrush labia and say, I want my crotch to look like this, my genitals labia. There's that. I mean, there are reasons for almost all cosmetic surgery that have nothing to that seems like the exact reason why surgery like that would exist. I mean, if you really do have an issue with things falling out of your swimsuit.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, then you could...
But and then each person has to decide what's going through there. But it just seems, once again, these are made. I mean, go forth if the reason is, if that's.
I think we got to open it up and let him do it.
Yeah.
And then, I think if I'm reading you right, if I know you well enough, like I think I do, you're just so sad that people can't be okay with themselves. Yeah. Is that where you're going with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just that there's a lot more going on there than the physicalness of it.
Right. And, that's, okay, going back to Nip Tuck, they really, they touch on that all the time in that crazy show, which had all sorts of things, but they really did, that was an underlying theme constantly throughout the entire series was, what happens when you're not okay with yourself and like the bad things that can go awry. It's kind of interesting. Yeah.
And that's what I'm finding, because, a lot of times, a lot of these stories focus on women, but guys have the exact same pressures. Do they have a big enough chest? Is their penis large enough? Is the beard coming in right? How do they look in the suit? I mean, it's not as, but it's still there.
Yeah.
The pressure is still there. And
and it's funny. I actually have a real life application of this with Carl. Have you met him in person, my boyfriend? At all? Maybe one time. Okay. Yeah. He's beautiful. I mean, he's a ridiculous specimen of a human being. Yay, me. I mean, he's gorgeous. He's 6'4", and even though he's in his upper 50s now, I mean, he's still got abs, a six pack. He's like, whatever. But here's the hysterical thing. And he looks amazing in his clothes because he's freaking built and big broad shoulders, all that kind of stuff. Well, he can't find shirts, Colleen, or pants because he's a 36. And even special ordering those things. So he gets really bummed out and frustrated. And then shirts, because his arms are so darn long. So I've been trying out all these different custom shirts online, and we found, whatever, but we've had to send a lot of stuff back and, whatever. And so it's like even somebody that most guys would say, oh my God, I would love to look like you. He has issues, and and he gets so sad. He's like, Kelly, why can't I just go find an outfit like anybody,
honestly, I was, you go out, and I don't know how anyone comes back from clothing shopping and doesn't want to throw themselves off a cliff. Because
I never thought of it that way.
No, what I'm saying is that there's just the amount of work. I mean, I'm short and fat. Okay. So you go to, let's say, the fat girl shop, because I'm fat, I'm overweight. But the thing is, they assume everyone who weighs what I do is 6 foot tall.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You can't, you have to adjust the proportions. And then I have girlfriends that are over 6 foot tall. And so they can't find, every pair of pants they try on is capri, and every shirt they try on is 3/4 length. Yeah. I'm like, who is this mythical person that fits into the racks and racks of clothing that is out there? Because I don't know anyone it fits. No one. And then I read a couple years ago that even if, let's say, whoever I don't know who the young starlets are now, to use a term, or the guys, whatever, but all the, anyone that's like under 25 in Hollywood,
kids,
they actually, if they might go and buy an Old Navy t-shirt, but they get it tailored for them. But nobody says that.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So it looks like, no, it's been tailored within an inch of its life, and it's an $8 shirt. And they spent $40 to bring the seams in so it fits them right.
That's funny.
And you're just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm fairly used to that. I know, I eyeball things and go, okay, this is going to cost me $20. Am I going to spend $45 to alter it? I have to just mentally think about that if I want, depending on what's going on.
Yeah.
If I want it to look, but most of the time now, for God's sakes, I have leggings and t-shirts on and I just don't care.
Okay. Be happy. Rock on. A lot of transgender stories this week, Colleen, and I really kind of love this first one. It's my favorite. I have it written in here as Granny and Tranny. And it's a man and a grandmother, Hazel Carter. She's, I think she lost her husband, and now this is her romance in the later part of her life. She has met a guy who has, since he was 14, always wanted to dress up as a woman, and he was able to be honest with her about this. And he's heterosexual, but he likes to dress as a female. And they've been together for 2.5 years. They live together, and they take photos as both of them dressed as women. And actually, they're cute. And then there's pictures of them with the guy, and it's a great article talking about their story and how he's so happy because he can be himself. They love each other dearly, and everybody's happy.
I do like the fact, and obviously it's someone that had to wait until they were older in life to be their, to use an overused phrase, their authentic self.
Yeah.
But it's glad that they got there, because some people never do.
Yeah.
And it's happening younger and younger for folks. But I know folks that are just that are transitioning now and doing some things, and I know folks that were younger and are doing it. It depends on where you are in your brain.
Yeah.
And I can't even. I mean, I've never at no point in my life did someone hand me a checklist and say, okay, what are you going to be attracted to? So I know nobody
thought to ask.
Who do you want to do? Who are you inside? I mean, nobody, asked me to choose. So I know damned well nobody else chose.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so to have folks be able to, and honestly, here's another overused word. It's brave too, because with the amount of crap going on out there, to go out there and, to some extent they're switching one anxiety for another, the anxiety of hiding yourself versus the anxiety of being out there and dealing with it. But I think there's different, at least you get rid of the hiding. The other stuff's out there.
I know I've mentioned this before. It's been quite some time, but I have a real brush with this on a personal level years ago. So I'm talking like 1992, because I still had my house. I was still in San Diego. And I used to go to this feed store to get, because we had, 2 large dogs. We had chickens and ducks, and it was a riot. I had a couple acres out there. And in northern San Diego, just so it was not downtown San Diego, just to clarify.
Ducks would be cool.
They were fun. They were hysterical.
What's it like?
But yeah, this feed store, and there was this big gruff dude named DJ, and he always had his coverall. I mean, he was just a stereotypical guy that ran a feed shop, and he was I was a little afraid of him because he was crusty, and I'd go and he'd haul and throw the feed in the back of my car. And one day we were just chatting, and I was like, oh, he's like kind of chatty today. And then finally he just said, I like you. And I said, well, I like you too.
Yeah.
It's one of those things.
Yeah.
And he's like, I need to tell you something. And he goes, I just kind of feel like you're a safe person. And I'm like, okay. And he goes, I like to dress up as a woman, and I'm in therapy. And he kind of told me his story. It was terrible. His mom wanted a girl, started dressing him as a little girl. And so kind of imposed this on him. So who knows whether or not he would have come by this on his own. And then once his father found out, and of course, abused him over it, the mom would then continue to enable slipping him panties. I mean, it was very sick, very sad. And he was trying to get past, he was married. His wife worked there. And he said, but part of my therapy is to go out in public. And he goes, twice a month I go down to downtown San Diego and go shopping. And I want to know if you'd go to shopping and lunch with me dressed as a woman sometime. And I'm like, yes, I will. And it was fine. And they had all of his sizes, just like they do as a personal shopper and everything. And he would buy clothes and whatever. And I'm like, good for you. And okay, I'm not going to lie. In 1992, I was surprised, but even then you're still I felt really touched that he sensed something in me that he could trust me, Well,
I mentioned, that's what because I had because you just that just, you get all warm and fuzzy inside.
Yeah.
Because I've had plenty of employees that have transitioned, have come in and then told me later that they were transitioning. I didn't know, I didn't, nor did I care. Or later on said, I'm going to be transitioning and I'd like to be called this now. And I said, I'll call you whatever you want to be called, whatever name you want to use, that's fine. Legally, I can't put it on the check until you show me the name change, info. But until then, whatever you want to be, that's fine.
Yeah.
And I've always felt really good that we were, I'm like, whatever you want. And I was quite a few folks. And then later on when they move on to this, that, and I Facebook friends with that, I've got a separate group, stuff, a few other folks. And I'm just like, I see folks blossoming into themselves. And I'm just like, and sometimes I'm like, oh my God, she's gorgeous. I'm like, I said, oh, she used to make up a lot better than I do.
Wow.
But it's just nice, that they had a safe place to be while they were working,
Yeah.
while they were working for me.
That's nice. That
the
is
same thing
really
that
cool.
they feel comfortable, I mean, obviously, they probably think we're more open anyway. I mean, I've just purchased a whole bunch of those all are welcome here signs to put in the windows because I figured there's no way I can. I mean, honestly, I sell dildos for a living. It's a fairly open environment. So there's no way that the folks who would be completely wigged out